No matter what avenue I choose in life as far as attacking things, I want to be the very best. And the very best may not be I'm number one. The very best is that I leave everything inside of me out there. So attacking is not like, oh, I want to win this or win that or be the best. The best is I'm running against myself in everything I do. And that's what I attack. I attack myself. I'm always questioning myself. I'm always holding myself accountable. So the accountability mirror is something that I came up with in high school. I got caught up in trying to impress so many people because no one liked me. So I developed so many different identities. Let me talk this way or act this way or be this way or whatever the hell it may be. God, dog, there's so many different things I did to try to fit in with so many different groups. When you look in the mirror, that's the one person you can't lie to. So every morning I would shave my head thinking, God, I would reflect back on some of the lies I may have told somebody or some of the ways I acted that I didn't feel comfortable doing. And I did it to impress other normal people. The key word there is normal, everyday people. I was trying to make other people like me. How pathetic is that? So this mirror would always tell me, my reflection would say, God, you are a pathetic man. How does that feel every day to be this way? So I would just start having myself accountable. How did I attack today? How did I attack yesterday? And if I didn't do something I was proud of, I would write down a sticky note and I would fix it. So then my senior year in high school, it was a totally different David Goggins. In that list of who you are, what makes you up, all these other things, it goes back to, once again, accepting. You have to first accept it before you can fix it. A lot of people walk around, oh man, I'm good. No, you're not. You have to accept what you're not. And people don't want to do that. And that's the only way you can fix it. You have to accept it first before you can go on the journey. A lot of folks never even start the journey, man. They never start the journey because they're living this fake life that who they want to be, they act like they are, but they're not because they haven't fixed all this stuff yet. You got to fix this first before we can start our journey in life. So that's why I have them make this list. You fix these problems, now your journey can begin because you no longer care about how people are judging you. When you care more about how someone's judging you, you're going to stay right there. There's no forward momentum. It was amazing because in the first hell week, I was still doubting myself because these guys come from the academy. A lot of them come from really good families. They come from a lot better. I mean, I had to earn my way just to get in the Navy, let alone be a SEAL. And now I'm going for the best. So my self-esteem, even though I was building it up and I lost weight and stuff like that, I'm now around the most uncommon of uncommon people. And I'm like, my God, I'm here. I belong here. So your mind has a good way of taking the path of least resistance. Whenever friction happens, friction causes growth. Whenever friction happens, that's why a lot of us don't have any growth, because when friction happens, we go the opposite direction. So in my mind, when friction happened, my mind said, you're not real. You've lied your whole life. You come from this, you can barely read. So whenever times got hard, my mind said, you're not good enough. Let's go. So my eyes, my mind weren't connecting. I started going back through my mind and realizing one thing. We were building bigger, stronger, faster quitters. Why is that? If you don't work on the one thing, the most powerful weapon in the world is your mind. Whether it be physical pain or mental pain. We all have to start from zero with pain. And what that means is, if you don't go back, we all have something that bothers us. Everybody in this world is insecure about something. Something in life, whether it be your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your wife, your husband, your kids, something has messed you up. And whenever you're in physical pain, even though you might not be thinking about that mental stuff that happened to you, your mind is thinking about it. All these dungeons that we've created, all these trap doors that our life has created, most of the time we quit is because we don't have any mental tools to get us through the other side. So my whole thing for people is you have to examine, why are you doing it in the first place? It's always comfortable to sit there, you're watching the Navy SEAL show, Discovery Channel, you're in a 72-degree house, you have your lemonade, your milkshake, whatever, you're like, I can do that. you're comfortable. The second you get out there in that environment where it's 40 degrees, like in my third hill, we had a guy die. You have to really want whatever you're going for. If not, all these questions that come up, like you said, how you go one more step further, your mind's gonna ask you all these questions. How can you go one more step further? If you don't have the answers to that, and I can't give them to you, you have to know, why am I here? For me, when I was going through SEAL training, I was willing to die. So all these negative questions that kept on coming up in my head, I had the answer for them. It's those people that don't have the answer for those negative questions. And if you can't answer those questions, you will quit. You will quit. Yeah, that was a moment for me, the VFW, where I got the Americanism Award. I got choked up, teared up, and what happened was all this stuff that you all have heard about my life growing up, it's at the surface. That's real, And at that moment, it flashed through my head about the journey I had to go through to get to that point to do that. And along that journey, I figured out myself. The biggest trophy that I ever got in my entire life was me. Was really figuring out me. And when I was up on that stage, I realized that. I realized it's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about being accepted by your peers and everybody else. It's about figuring out who I am and being happy with who I am. Even though I'm going to be judged for all these things, being able to put a middle finger up to everybody and say, this is David Goggins. And to get to that point, it felt great. I can't stop reading. I won't be able to read tomorrow. I will lose it that fast. I cannot stop going to the gym. My mind is set up in a spot where, hey, the second I stop, it wants to stop. Because I had a quitting mind growing up. When you get beat all the time, your mind wants to go to that nice spot where you're comforted, where you're not trying. It doesn't want to think. You have all these things in the mind, and the mind can only absorb so much. So all the pain it has to go through, it wants to push it away and say, let's not do that. So every day I'm fighting where the mind wants to go. It's a constant evolution, man. I've never arrived. That's why now I'm stretching out 2-3 hours. I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm like, oh man, I went through Navy SEAL training. I ran over 7,000 miles in 2007. I did pull-up records. Now that the mind is so strong, let the body catch the mind. So that's now where I'm at. So I'm always trying to reinvent the wheel and see what I'm capable of next.